Symbiotes are hot right now, and as one of the most resilient and relentless alien species in Marvel Comics, it only makes sense. Today on Top 10 Nerd, it's the top 10 strongest symbiotes who cannot be stopped. Usually. Number 10. Sleeper. Sleeper, the youngest offspring of Venom, is like the overachiever in the Venom family. Unlike its siblings, Sleeper got a cushy upbringing, incubated safely before bonding with a host. This special treatment comes with its perks. First off, Sleeper skips the whole Spider-Man eye thing. Its appearance is different, and it doesn't have to have those big old white eyes. Also, Sleeper isn't your typical symbiote. It's more mature and chill, maybe a tad smug. What makes Sleeper stand out in the symbiote crowd is its brain power. It's not just a headfirst, impulsive fighter. Thanks to increased cognitive functionality, Sleeper takes a calculated approach to combat. It's so smart that it actually went as far as lobotomizing its host, Tel-Kar, and used him like a puppet to dodge the Kree warrior's influence. Beyond its unique appearance and brains though, Sleeper has cool abilities like bending light to disappear and releasing neurotoxins to knock out its enemies. Oh, and the cutest part, Sleeper can transform into a little kitty cat. How cool is that? It's very cool. It's cute. I like it. Number 9. Toxin. Toxin, the son of Carnage, is like the rock star of symbiotes. He's the 1000th in the line of Venom's descendants, and his raw power is so intense that even the big boss of symbiotes, Null, aka the King in Black, is a little bit freaked out by him. Carnage, Toxin's dad, for lack of a better word, discovers his symbiote pregnancy and, being the oddball that he is, feels both terrified that his kid might outpower him and kind of grossed out that, being a male symbiote, he's technically pregnant, which is weird. Anyhow, Carnage plans to get rid of Toxin, but Venom steps in like the superhero dad that he is. Toxin gets trained by Venom and bonds with a New York City cop named Patrick Mulligan. Thanks to this, Toxin's powers stay in check, and he's all about doing good. His childlike vibe keeps him from going on full power, which is a good thing because this guy is a powerhouse. Toxin is resistant to heat and sound, has killer tracking skills, and basically combines the strengths of both Venom and Carnage together. Plus, he developed a venomous bite very recently, but surviving that is a whole other story. Mulligan gets taken out eventually, and Toxin gets a new gig bonding with Eddie Brock before finding a new host named Bren Waters during the King in Black event. Number 8. Scream/Silence. Scream is one of 5 symbiotes that was created by the Evil Life Foundation after traces of Venom were extracted from Eddie Brock. Scream is by far the most unstable of Venom's offspring, but also one of the most powerful as well. It's at its strongest while bonded with Donna Diego, but even after Donna's passing at Eddie's own hands, Scream still poses a major threat to the world. Now, Andrea Benton was eventually separated from the Mania symbiote after she was possessed by a demonic hellmark, later bonding with the reborn Scream symbiote. Later, Carnage corrupted the Scream symbiote and Andy used her Hellfire to wipe it out for good, or so she thought. Alchemax actually used the symbiote's remains alongside a sample of the anti-Venom symbiote to create a somewhat brand new symbiote known as Silence, which Andy bonded with, gaining a new corruptive touch, deadly to other symbiotes as well as the usual symbiote powers, plus the Scream symbiote's hair tendril things. Number 7. Poison. Ever since the first time Venom and Spider-Man bonded, that pesky symbiote would continuously try to merge with Peter Parker, but he would only get halfway before Peter could repel him. Now, what happens if Venom finally gets what he wants? Well, in the What If Spider-Man the Other story, we get to find out. After Peter is semi-defeated by Morlun and he cocoons himself under the Brooklyn Bridge, he is offered the chance to be resurrected by the Spider God, but instead of allowing this like he does in the normal continuity, in this story, Peter refuses and is instead stuck in his cocoon, half alive. Now cut to Venom, who, being Spider-Man's crazy ex-girlfriend, senses the vulnerability of his soulmate and completely ditches his current host, Mac Gargan the Scorpion. He intercepts Peter's body, and after months of struggling inside the cocoon together, monstrously breaking down Peter Parker, Venom fully bonds to Peter. Now the pair are truly one, with all the fully realized powers that come with being a symbiote, which include being able to replicate itself and host more than one body, producing stingers that are strong enough to pierce Luke Cage's skin, and the newly dubbed being known as Poison was even able to resurrect Gwen Stacy in a form that seems to take after Venom's offspring, Carnage. Number 6. Gwenom. Spider-Gwen of Earth-65, or Ghost Spider, which is way cooler, has easily one of the best costumes of all the spider heroes. Throw in a healthy dash of a symbiotic monster from outer space, notorious for giving great fashion advice, and well, look at her. She looks absolutely amazing. On top of that, Gwen sort of relies on Venom for her powers since her original powers started to fade. But while that sounds bad, Gwen has actually learned to find a very healthy balance with her symbiote. The symbiote itself enhances whatever emotions the host has, right? So, when she first bonded with Venom thanks to a corrupt Matt Murdock Kingpin, who she was forced to team up with, she was rage-fueled and looking for revenge against the Rhino for attacking her father, and eventually against Murdock himself. But over time, she realized that she needed to control that and give Venom better qualities to enhance in order to control and find balance with the symbiote. In a way, Venom actually helped her to become a better hero, all while still retaining that really sweet suit. Number 5. Anti-Venom. The Anti-Venom symbiote was created when Venom bonded with Eddie Brock after the man was cured of cancer by Mr. Negative. Now thanks to Mr. Negative's healing powers, Eddie's antibodies gave birth to a new kind of symbiote when Venom tried to rebond. Inverting the black and white of the original Venom symbiote, Anti-Venom is now mainly white instead of black. Oh, right, and he has different anti-symbiote powers. His touch is basically caustic to symbiotes and can destroy them with long enough exposure. Anti-Venom can cure people affected by things like radioactivity, parasites, and diseases. And he still has all the enhancements afforded by a symbiote. To make the symbiote even more impressive, Anti-Venom is resistant to heat and sound, the symbiote's most significant weaknesses. After Flash Thompson, Agent Venom eventually lost the Venom symbiote, he bonded with an artificial replica of the Anti-Venom symbiote that he continues to use even after his passing and recent resurrection. Number 4. Carnage. When Eddie Brock was briefly detached from the Venom symbiote, he was imprisoned and his cellmate was none other than Cletus Cassidy, a psychotic murderer serving 11 consecutive life sentences on Rikers Island. When Venom showed up and bust Eddie out of prison, it accidentally produced its first offspring as a result of, get this, Thanos seeking the Infinity Gems out in space. Which is the weirdest reason, but that's actually what happened. This offspring would be Carnage, and it was left in the cell when Venom and Eddie escaped, bonding with Cletus Cassidy through a wound that he sustained on his hand. This meant that the bond they formed was on a blood level, and would be nearly impossible to break. Despite that, there have been other characters that have taken on the symbiote. Norman Osborn was a notable one when he became the Red Goblin and was absolutely terrifying, and I would be silly to not mention that the Grendel dragon had part of itself merge with Carnage to create an incredibly terrifying version of the symbiote known as Dark Carnage that absolutely put up a hell of a fight against Venom and others. And now Carnage is back yet again, and he's reaching a level of power that puts him on the cosmic map as he's constantly upgrading himself with all kinds of tech and magic to be able to face Eddie Brock, who has become the King in Black of the symbiote race. Number 3. Grendel. Billions of years ago, the Clintar or symbiote god Null spilled some cosmic innards. Out of those innards came Grendel, a symbiote dragon with a one-way ticket for chaos across the cosmos. Basically, Null was pulling the strings, using these dragons as his cosmic wrecking crew. Grendel, being a symbiotic dragon, is no run-of-the-mill symbiote. This beast has been on a rampage for eons, smashing gods in Null's name. It's not exactly Grendel himself doing the stomping, it's more like Null's puppeteering pulling the strings. Now, Grendel isn't your average symbiote, like I said. Forget the weaknesses to fire and the sonic stuff. This dragon can breathe fire, shoot energy blasts, move at warp speed through space, and is tougher than a steel wall. But wait, it gets even crazier. Grendel can team up with other dragons and symbiotes to form this mega entity of destruction. Grendel is basically the epitome of terrifying awesomeness. Number 2. All Black. All Black the Necrosword is not your everyday symbiote. It's like the granddaddy of all symbiotes in the Marvel Comics universe. Created by the dark god Null, this bad boy is not just some suit, it's a cosmic tool of destruction. The Necrosword was crafted from the living abyss itself, shaped into a mighty sword that makes Excalibur look like a butter knife. It's dark and it's powerful. Now, what makes All Black unique is that it doesn't just play nice with hosts like your regular symbiote. When someone wields All Black, they're basically wielding the power of the cosmos. This thing can cut through Celestials like a hot knife through butter. The Necrosword has been on quite the journey, passing from hand to hand, creating chaos and legendary battles across the Marvel Universe. It's not just a tool, it's a symbol of power and a game changer in cosmic conflicts. Number 1. Venom. Publication-wise, in Marvel Comics, Venom was the first of his kind to appear, and the one that set the symbiotic ball rolling. After being rejected by Spider-Man, the alien Venom bonded to Eddie Brock, a disgraced reporter who also hated the hero and his Peter Parker alter ego. Now, it took quite a while, but after years of villainy, the two became a lethal protector, anti-hero, and eventually just a straight-up hero. Venom is not the strongest of all symbiotes by any means, but he's certainly one of the most persevering. Venom has been tested against more dangerous symbiotes and always comes out on top because of his resilience. He's proved he can conquer the urges of his race and become a force for good. Venom has recently bonded with Eddie's son, Dylan Brock, and they are both acting as a hero on Earth, with Dylan discovering his own unique powers as Codex. Now, long before that though, the Venom symbiote had also been taken in by the United States government, sedated, and was bonded to decorated soldier Eugene Flash Thompson. Now, Thompson's training and great guy morals mixed with the neutered mind of the Venom symbiote gave him control over the alien suit in a way that others just hadn't been able to do. He mixed the symbiote's capabilities with his own skill to become Agent Venom, which was also technically just Venom, so I'm including him here as well, and there have been a whole bunch of other hosts too, but I don't really care about them because they're not as cool. And that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for watching on Top 10 Nerd today. I'm your host, Adam Andrews. I will catch you all on the flippy flop, but until then, peace out and stay safe, nerds. Bye!